more than pain gets killed. Many people have mentioned in the last couple of years how people have changed, or rather are now seen for what and who they really are. And it seems a fair few have revealed themselves to be quite narrow-minded, cold and uncaring, and in some cases quite hateful. Whether it was family towards family, colleague towards colleague, or friend towards friend, not everyone was expecting how it played out for them. But what seems to have been discussed was how those people could be like that, or how someone didn't see they were like that before. I've written already about it in A Certain Type of Person, but wanted to further speculate on how it is that so many possibly came to be like that. Of course, there are others who are just like that, so may not fall into this category, and there will be others who became what they were merely through life experiences, but this is a general idea. Painkillers and prescription drugs. I wonder if they have quietly been doing more than what they were meant to. In my article, Memory, I mentioned that it has been noted along the way that painkillers, while numbing physical pain, can also dampen and interrupt emotions and feelings. I hadn't considered that when thinking about addictions, and how so many became addicted to them after their ailment had apparently healed. I just thought they were physically addictive, and may well be. But the idea to me that if someone is on high-end painkillers for a long time, would severely miss out on being fully emotionally present for a portion of their life. How is it perceived when something happens that requires lots of feeling? Is it void? Is it there but just not functioning because it is inhibited? I don't know, and I don't know anyone to ask who has had this affliction, or anyone whose parent may have been on them, so can relay how it felt, and if they ever felt emotionally absent. And again, lots of people are, and have been in their lives for various reasons, but I wonder if this is one that gets overlooked on an individual level. But as we have had a general event we all got caught up in, many had to react in some way, whether they had a fully functioning system of emotions or not. The other slightly terrifying idea, linked to that article Memory as well, is the conclusion of how memories appear to be transferred, through cells. I'll brief the bit that leads in. They took mice and hamsters and conditioned them to be afraid of the dark. They then liquidized them and injected them into rats, who previously had no fear of the dark. Once you get over that awfulness, that we do things like that just to see, the results revealed, although contested, that the rats who were injected developed a fear of the dark. So, with that in mind, we know that bits of animal and fetal DNA is used in making vaccines, and I theorise that whatever traumatic exposure or experience that life form went through before death, whether conditioned or natural, could be transferred by way of cells into other substances, if you catch my drift. And that goes for any of the components to things that might be injected, all along the way. I wrote a fictional short story with that line of thought, if you are interested, called P113. I have to admit, I do wonder if that could really have anything to do with so many seemingly on a quest to be numb to life. That emotions and feelings become too much, or is it that they just aren't received as they are meant to? If everyone around you is numbed by medication, or feels traumatised all the time and fearful because of something that isn't really them, but is in them, how do you deal with that? You would be seen as the odd one out because you are displaying emotions others can no longer recognise. Perhaps. All purely speculation, of course. I can't say either way whether people are really themselves anymore, and if they ever were. You can only know yourself though in the end anyway, and hope to feel like you might get to know some real people along the way too, who aren't afraid to feel. Because in amongst all this fear these days, a big theme is that people are scared to be themselves, more now than ever. Bravery has to start with standing up for being yourself. Then maybe you can stand up for others. It might just be needed.